Welcome to New Hope Underground, the podcast you are proud to call home. Today's episode is entitled, What to Eat During a Blizzard, and the fascinating mole rat. And now here are the guys, Darin and Drew Hansen.
Hey, welcome to New Hope Underground. I'm Darin.
And I'm Drew.
And we're on Zoom again today.
You know, they wouldn't have even known if you didn't say anything.
I gotta say it, we try to be real.
We're real.
Try to be honest, down to earth.
It's not your mama's podcast.
That's right. Exactly like your mama's podcast. We are your mama's podcast.
We probably are your mama's podcast. Your mom's probably listening to this right now.
And if she is, she'd be darn proud of you that you're listening as well. So that's all I've got to say. But hey, it is freezing out. I mean, it is February, what is this, the 16th?
16th.
And we just had a blizzard basically last night.
Yeah, the last 2 days. I feel like it's just been snowing.
I don't know is there like a actual definition of blizzard? Like there has to be a certain
I think it's when
amount of snowfall.
I think it's when you are able to turn it over in the drive-thru and it doesn't fall out. Yeah, I don't know if there's a definition.
Yeah, I wonder about that. I'm gonna look that up while we're talking because I'm curious. Like, is there the definition of blizzard? I would imagine that there's got to be like some degree of snowfall, maybe, or
I think it's probably wind speed.
The National Weather Service defines a blizzard as a severe snowstorm characterized with winds of 35 miles per hour at least and lasting for a prolonged period of time, typically 3 hours or more.
So two and a half hours of 35 miles an hour wind. Sorry, you're not.
It's got to have basically it's like blowing snow that results in low visibility.
Mm-hmm.
So it has more to do with the wind producing whiteout conditions. It has more to do with wind than it does with actual snowfall.
Nothing to do with ice cream or its texture.
Well, yeah, that's a given though.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's the first type of blizzard. I'm talking about the second type of blizzard, which is actual, wintry condition.
Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. That's what I'm talking about. Extra Reese's. Don't skimp.
Is that your favorite blizzard?
Yeah, it's the only blizzard. Don't skip.
It's the only blizzard.
Don't skimp on the Reese's either. Pack that thing.
In fact, buy another one. Buy a Reese's separate and shove it in there.
Yeah, I'd buy a few just to be safe.
Yeah, you can get those like little cup things.
Yeah.
Little miniature Reese's.
Yep. You just got to freeze them a little bit, throw them in. There's your little blizzard tip of the day.
There you go. Make your own blizzard. In fact, right now, if you're somewhere located where we are, then all you got to do is open up your door and shove your cup out there in the snow, and then throw some Reese's in it. There you go. You have a Reese's blizzard.
Reese's blizzard, man. That just blew my mind.
So, but it's been crazy. And what I want to say is right now, I spent like an hour this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's closer to maybe 2 hours, an hour and a half, I guess, of out there on the tractor pushing snow around. And I'm just want to tell you something. And I also got stuck today, so I had to shovel that out. But I've come to appreciate those guys that drive around and gals that drive around with those plows, man.
Yeah, they're I feel like they're just sitting there waiting for it to snow, Like,
oh yeah.
Come on, and then it actually happens like it did the other day, and like a bell goes off and they all get the plows, man.
Like we get to get our plows out.
Yeah, first
you've
one's
got
out.
Some of the county people, they get those like Batman signals and stuff, and they're like, "We're ready to go." It's like 3 a.m. We don't care.
Yeah,
they're out there.
It's time. It's my moment to shine.
Big thank you to all the what I would consider right now essential workers,
blizzard first responders,
people who are plowing, the peeps that plow. I mean, they are essential workers as far as I'm concerned.
Hats off to them, but I'm staying inside.
Speaking of staying inside, what do you think is uh like a major comfort food? Because God bless America, God has given us incredible foods
Amen.
to,
Amen.
and there are certain foods that are just better during the winter time, like when you're closed
You're
up
snowed in. Yeah.
and you can't open the door because there's a drift a mile high,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're just freezing,
Yep.
and you come in from the cold,
Yep.
and what do you want to fix? Like what's the go-to comfort food?
It depends for me. If I'm in a hurry, like if I don't want, or if I just don't feel like cooking something, big bowl of oatmeal, man. Can't go wrong with oatmeal.
Now, what kind of oatmeal? You do the instant stuff?
No, I make my own and I customize it so it's different every time. Like little peanut butter, bananas. That's usually my go-to.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're really into the peanut butter thing.
Oh, I love peanut butter.
The Reese's Blizzard.
It's
and
my
now
favorite food. It's my favorite food.
The peanut butter banana oatmeal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think, I don't know, ever since I was a kid, for me, it's like hot macaroni and cheese
Yeah.
or grilled cheese
Or both.
and anything else that's hot with cheese on it.
I was gonna say,
But
you think I have a thing with peanut butter? You have a thing with cheese.
exactly right. But yeah, I wonder what's your go-to comfort food? I mean, you got to have something like, especially on a winter day like this. I mean, it's been, I'm on a diet, so it's been taking all of my energy to not eat these kinds of foods because they're not on my diet plan. And
Well, you just gotta
also
find
to
something else.
reject the cup of cocoa that I so desperately want today.
You can't have cocoa?
No chocolate, no sugar. Guess I could find some sugar-free cocoa.
I'm sure you can.
I'm sure it tastes great too.
Yeah, probably not. There's no way that's gonna taste good. I also like
No,
like I crave like pot roast or like beef roast,
there you go.
when it's snowing outside. I just don't
When it's
always,
snowing outside, it just makes you think pot roast.
yeah, man, like just pot roast on a stack of mashed potatoes. Get out of my
A
way.
beef Manhattan. A beef Manhattan.
Beef Manhattan. That's what they called me in high school.
That was your nickname.
Yep.
Drew Beef Manhattan Hansen.
Watch out. Beef Manhattan's walking down the hallway. Get out of his way.
Not sure if I want to know why you'd had that
No,
nickname, but anyway.
Don't worry about it.
So, hey, welcome to New Hope Underground. We've already said that, but we're going to welcome you again because it's time for the actual news, the real news.
Beep,
Now,
beep, 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 beep.
this is a fascinating article. I read an article on, now this you would think would actually be something that we would save for the old Dr. Reed segment. He's not on today.
I'll do my best.
But I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, we'll go ahead and throw it out there anyway, because I really am fascinated by this. And that is, researchers have learned, have made tremendous leaps in knowledge when it comes to the naked mole rat community.
Okay.
So, the naked mole rat. You know what a naked mole rat is?
I kind of can picture it.
It's pretty darn ugly. And the name itself just is a good description of
I
what
just
it looks
Googled
like.
it. Oh, that was a mistake. That's weird.
Yeah, I
thing.
shouldn't have done that.
That is weird looking.
But it's fascinating what what the researchers have learned about naked mole rats.
Okay.
There was a researcher in South Africa that actually did a series of tests, and one of the things they found out was that each colony of naked mole rats, they live in colonies,
Okay.
and each colony has a queen. Much like a beehive, if you will.
Yeah. Okay.
And not only that, but they have found out that these mole rats can produce over, I want to say, 1,600 different sounds. And each colony has a distinct dialect.
What? Like language?
Yeah, they talk to each other in this distinct dialect. And what's really interesting is that they have found out that they're pretty well organized. When it comes to the queen, they actually have certain mole rats who will guard the queen. They have like soldier mole rats.
It's like a whole little civilization.
Yes, it's like, in fact, they described it as almost a Game of Thrones type of thing going on.
So there's a social
north.
hierarchy in the colonies.
Right, and if a queen dies, all right, there is a period of anarchy, and they notice a difference in the dialect. It starts to change, and there are some other dialects that start up like within the community and then they go to war basically until a new queen rises to the top. And when a new queen rises to the top, it brings everyone calms down, and the language is kind of restored according to whatever the queen kind of chooses for the dialect.
There's a life lesson in there somewhere.
It's really interesting. They also are xenophobic. Now, xenophobic means, don't be ashamed if you don't know this, because I had to look it up, but I always thought it was for some reason I kept thinking it was fear of copiers, but no, that's xeroxophobic.
I thought it was fear of xylophones.
But xenophobic actually means that you have a fear, or you don't like anyway foreigners.
Right.
And naked mole rats are xenophobic. And the way that they can tell if a foreign naked mole mat
Oh,
if a naked mole,
is it through their dialects?
I can't say it. Yes, through the dialect. So if a foreign naked mole rat comes from one colony and enters another colony, they can tell by the dialect that it is foreign, and they kill it.
Oh, man.
They kill it because they do not want it. They think it's up to no good, and they don't want it in their colony.
Okay, so
anyway, it's just
those
fascinating.
Can they copy different colonies' dialects?
I don't know. That was not covered in the article.
You could have a spy.
Maybe they do. We haven't
rat.
learned that yet. Yes, some spy naked mole rats. But I tell you what, everything goes with the queen, or downhill. So it's just amazing in these animal colonies. I mean, it's just amazing to see that there's a lot more going on than meets the eye.
Yeah, so they're learning these languages.
Yes.
Adapting to whatever the queen says. I hereby pronounce my dialect as the dialect of the colony. So they have to
pretty much.
They have to drop their previously used dialect, adapt it to the monarchs, the way of the kingdom.
Right, and I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure they said that it was over 1,600 different sounds. I think they made. They had they said each colony can consist up to about 300 of these rodents, with a queen at the top of the hierarchy, who serves as the only mating female.
Man,
and then they have soldiers that will protect the entrance. Yeah, the soldiers will protect the entrance. But this study they did was, you know what? I am way off on the vocalizations. I apologize. I said 1,600. There was over 36,000 different vocalizations that the naked mole rats have. So when you talk about dialects, I mean, it's a combination of lots of different sounds and etc. So it's pretty complicated, actually. It's really amazing.
Where are naked mole rats found? Like, where can you find? Where do they live? What's their habitat?
That's a good question. I couldn't find that right away, and I still don't really know. Maybe we can, here's the thing. If you live close by naked mole rats, you just need to understand what's going on underneath the surface.
Yeah, there's a lot more going on than what you think.
Be careful. Be careful, because you don't know what kind of anarchy is going to ensue.
I don't trust them.
Especially if a queen dies. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen.
Okay, so it says here that the naked mole rat lives in like central and eastern parts of Africa. So Ethiopia, Somalia, Kenya.
That makes sense. Most of these studies were done in South Africa. And one interesting thing is they will also live up into their 30s.
Yeah.
So they'll live up in their 30s. They appear to be resistant to cancer and actually immune from some types of pain. They don't suffer some types of pain at all, like other animals. So, just amazing. Anyway,
they are majestic
few facts.
beasts.
Few facts about the.
I just thought they were gross.
Yeah, when you look at them, you're just like, why did God create those? It's just unsightly. But there's a reason for the naked mole rat, and apparently, it's a lot more like human than we thought,
including xenophobia.
So if you happen to be xenophobic yourself,
stop it.
If you are in your 30s,
stop that too.
And if you are don't have cancer and resist different types of pain, and also you have over 36,000 vocalizations, speak in different dialects, and also follow a queen, you're either British or a naked mole rat.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're like either a British polyglot or or naked.
There's a
mole
BuzzFeed.
rat.
There's a BuzzFeed trivia or little quiz for you right there. Are you British or a naked mole rat?
Either or.
Hey, we got a great show for you today. Like always, on and on as we go. So every single day, it seems like there's a conversation concerning the coronavirus. Did you notice this?
No, what is it?
The coronavirus. Have you heard about that? It's a virus that's out there right now. It's getting a lot of playtime.
I've got antivirus on my Mac, so we're good.
Have you got the vaccine yet?
No, but
yeah, there's the vaccines out there.
I'm kind of letting everyone go. It's not a political statement. It's really just because I've been kind of busy and I want to make sure all the old people get it first.
Yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense.
Just trying to, it's like letting someone go in front of you in the queue,
Oh, that's good. In the queue for the virus, but not at DQ. You will not let anybody in front of you there.
No, all hell breaks loose at the DQ drive-through.
Well, I want to talk about something serious here just for a little bit, because I know our podcast is so serious all the time. And that is this. What have we really learned about the church, about faith, if you will, however you want to phrase it, in the time of COVID? And so I'm going to let you go first, Drew. Do you have something?
It's a good question. I mean, I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of lessons you can learn from it, especially personally. But the church as a whole, oftentimes I'm volunteering, or the work here for me at the church has to do with worship or music or leading teams for that. And so from that perspective, I realized that we had something online, but we weren't very good at it. I mean, not that we were bad, but it just kind of brought the online community to our attention, just kind of by default, if that makes sense.
Right, it's like we already had something online, but it really, because we couldn't meet together, it just kind of made us be more aware of the presence and the potential of what we could do online.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, we had something. I think at the time, before COVID, we were just doing, posting our sermons, after church or sometime in the week.
Right.
But now it's like, okay, how do we engage a community online? And instead of just giving them content, how do we actually foster community? And that's a weird thing. I don't think we're probably got the answer yet, but no, it's better. It's better than what it was.
I think that's a really good point. I think just with the use of technology, and some people have told me they're just tired of it, the whole thing. They're tired of getting online. They're tired of Zoom, and I don't really. It hasn't happened to me. I'm not really tired of it. I just see it as another tool to connect with people. I think it's great. In fact, what I've kind of learned from it is that we need to use it more often instead of just not connecting with people at all.
Yeah.
Let's use it. Not be
Yeah,
afraid of
I
it.
think you're always going to have people that don't like something whenever the church gets, starts doing something new.
Well, I think it's
You're
also
always going to have
because
people that just don't like it.
yeah. Well, Zoom fatigue is a real thing because people use it for work all day. Then you use it for church.
Yep.
So yeah, I get it. That's for sure. But I
Use
think
it
you're
for
right. I think
school.
it's really woke us up to maybe how the church is not just about who meets together in the building at a certain time.
Yeah, before we would just use the internet or our technologies as a way to just produce content or give information,
Right.
like website information. If you really want to get involved, go here, and this will point you in the direction. And that, as opposed to now, where it's like there's a whole group of people that this is the only way they're getting connected.
Right.
So how can we use it to pursue that in a deeper and more meaningful way? Like
Well,
you
it
said, we
also
haven't figured it out exactly. I don't think anyone has, but
sure. That should also wake us up to the fact, and I think it has across the country, that what is the church exactly? It's not about what we attending a certain day of the week to a service, and you can attend a lot and not really be a part of the church, and you can also be a part of the church and not attend that much. So helping us, trying to define those things. I think one thing I've seen that I think has been a real positive swing is I was a youth pastor for a lot of years, and that one thing we'd always say is, "Hey, the church is here, and we're here in the youth ministry not to, be the parents of children, but to come alongside of families to help you, establish some spiritual guidance of your own at home." That's something we didn't always do very well, and not only that, but I don't think parents were really that open to it. They still like to just drop their kids off at youth group and, hey, have fun. And you're not sure exactly what happens after that when it comes to spiritual guidance. But I've heard actual conversation. I mean, in conversation with people during this year, I've actually heard the words, if you will, the vernacular of a parent who actually is taking on more spiritual leadership because it's like, I don't know, just something like they just realized, like, wow, I really need to leave my family here because it's, we can't go to church like we used to, or groups aren't happening like they used to. The kids aren't plugged in like they should be.
right, you have to
with
take more responsibility
Yeah, I got to take more
for your faith.
responsibility, and it's been really good to hear. And I've
Uh-huh.
actually heard some families say, I'm not so sure we need all the things that the church, the local church has to offer, simply because we're doing some of these things at home, and I'm excited about leading that with my family. And so I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
kind of like how you view school, right? So
Right.
you can get an education at school, but if you're only learning between the hours of 8 and 3, between the ages of K through 12, then you're going to miss out on potential and a more depth, like the depth of knowledge you can have.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. When school went away for some people and you had distant learning, parents had to engage more,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't have much of a choice. Some people had to stay home from work or work from home or whatever to try to help their kids along the way. And I think maybe a little bit of that awakening has happened with the need for spiritual guidance as well. So I think
For
that's
sure.
I think that's a good thing. Another
Mhm.
thing I think is kind of challenging over this last year is that we can have a tendency, and I think this is everywhere and with all of us. I'm not pointing any fingers, but I think we have a tendency sometimes to withdraw when there's fear. And
Oh, yeah.
one thing I've learned over this last year is Christians can't withdraw when other people are suffering with fear. But it's not really easy in our society, honestly, to engage with other people, to serve and help people who sometimes don't even want it. They
Right.
want you to stay away, but at the same time, I think that ought to be our attitude,
Oh,
to
that's
not be
good.
afraid of things.
Yeah, I'd say if I had one other thing, um, I think it just brought to light the fact that we're not in control. I think ministries and churches like to operate from this perspective that we can be over prepared and we have to gather all the metrics and we have to make sure these things are figured out. Um, and this season just made us realize, oh wait, we can do all the preparation, and then the rug gets pulled out from underneath us. What's left?
Yeah,
What is left? Is it what's left of the church? And I think God brought that to light. He's like, oh, actually, I'm in control, and this is my people, not your club.
that's really good.
You're a well-oiled machine.
That's really good. So true. Hey, these things, we just mentioned 3 or 4 things here, and the conversation is a good one. I would ask anybody listening, if you're a New Hoper, I'd love to hear from you. We love, DM us at New Hope Underground on Instagram or Facebook messages or whatever, and just let us know. I would love to hear from you. What have you learned about the church or faith, or when it comes to your own life, when it comes to, because of COVID? I'd love to hear your feedback and get that feedback. Hey, hang on one bit. We'll be right back. Hey, we've come to the conclusion of another incredible podcast brought to you by New Hope Underground.
And blizzards, Dairy Queen blizzards.
Man, we don't even get any money from them, and we have to pay for a blizzard.
That's okay.
But that's okay. We're going to continue to mention it. So, and I tell you what, we've had some great interviews with some junior high students lately on the show. And if you haven't had a chance to listen to them, go back and listen to them. But I've learned a few things just interviewing some junior high kids. One thing I've learned is that these guys, as young as they are, they've got some really good heads on their shoulders. I mean, they're like answering the questions left and right, and they know what they want to do in the future and stuff. It's crazy. When I was a junior high kid, I mean, I just mumbled a bunch and ate chips. I didn't know what was going on.
That's what I do now. Dude, when I was that age, I just wanted to play basketball.
Yeah, me too.
Just give me a basketball, get out of my way. I don't want to do anything else. Everything else is annoying.
That's right. That was me too. I didn't think through all that stuff. And if somebody sat down and interview me like that, I wouldn't be able to respond like these kids have. It's just been really, really good. So if you get a chance, check it out. And we've got a couple more coming up. So we're going to have a couple more interviews in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned for that. And if you've got somebody in our church that you just would really like to hear from, tell us. We'll go after them and see if we can get an interview. It'll be great. So I think it's just really cool getting to know people behind the scenes there. But
underground.
Anyway. Hey, also, we got some groups going on. We've been talking about these groups for the last couple of weeks, but I'm doing one on. I'm gonna just talk about my own group for a second, if that's okay. I'm doing one on Bible and Christianity questions and answers, and it is on Zoom, and it's just for 3 weeks on a Monday nights, starting March 1st. So March 1st, March 8th, March 15th. So
is that kind of like an apologetics approach, or is it more of just like basic Bible knowledge, or is it how to read the Bible, or is it all of it?
It really is. We get on Zoom, whoever wants to join, and I try to answer questions that people have. So that's really all it is.
Stump the pastor.
Yeah, and I'll be more than happy to say I don't know, or we're going to have to find it somewhere else or whatever. But I think we got quite a few people signed up, so I'm looking forward to that. And we got room for more, so all you have to do is go to www.newhopechurch.cc/groups, and then you click the banner at the top of the page. That'll take you to our specialty groups, and you'll see Bible Q&A. You click on that picture and sign up. And it's It's just for 3 weeks, and if you can't make all 3 weeks, that's okay. Sign up, come for 1, come for 2, come for 3, whatever you can do. But what's really cool is that
3 weeks
even if you-
continuous?
I'm sorry?
3 weeks continuous?
3 straight weeks, 24/7.
24/7 around the clock. No
Actually,
eating, no
3
sleeping?
Let me be very particular. 3 1-hour periods
Okay.
once a week for 3 weeks on Monday nights,
Joachim will be glad that you clarified.
7 to 8 p.m. So, yeah, check it out. And basically, just bring your question, whatever question it is about Bible or Christianity or faith, and we're going to talk about it. And what's really cool is that you may just have one question, but listening to the conversation that we have all together that's sparked by the other questions of people in the group is really, really cool. I think it's really cool, really informative and fun. So there you go. That's pretty much my commercial, if you will.
That was a good commercial.
That's starting March 1st.
You got me interested.
Hey, thanks for listening once again, New Hope Underground, and Drew. Thanks for hanging out with me again.
Yeah, thanks for listening, Dad.
And even though we're on Zoom, and even though it's a blizzard, we keep going.
Hey, this is what we do, man. We're New Hope Underground. We don't mess around.